If you're wondering whether you are on the right path, then listen to this. How do you know if you're on the right path? How do you know if you're doing things the right way? There are as many paths to discipline as there are paths to success. In other words, almost infinite. You can't know if you're on the right path. Don't be overly concerned with whether or not you're on that right path that people think exists. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, but how would you know? Can you predict the future? I just mentioned in yesterday's episode, you can't predict the future, but you can prepare for a future that you don't know. Instead, think about it this way. Make sure you are on a path of your choosing that you believe is headed in a direction that you want to go. If you can say confidently and feel confidently that you are doing those 4 things, I'm on a path, I'm choosing it myself, I believe that it's headed in a direction that I want to go, then you are in a place of discipline and you are moving in the direction of success. Now, whether or not that's the right path doesn't matter because I don't know who defines right or wrong for your path. But what I do know is that it's not somebody else. The path you're on right now and where it's headed in the future, it may feel different than you imagined. It may look different than other people in your environment. You may even have questions or serious doubts about where its final destination is. That's okay. There are no guarantees for any path that you choose. Sometimes you will get on a path and you will get it right early or the first time, and it will all work according to how you thought it would. Other times, you're going to have to change paths over and over and get on many paths to end up in a place that is right for you. I think about how do we operationalize this? How do we apply this in our lives? And where do we see this? I think about places like Amazon, that started as an online bookstore. And was that the right path for Amazon to be where it is today? At the time, they didn't know. At the time, the people watching didn't know. But it was the right path for Amazon according to what it was doing. But if it tried to evaluate it then against the reference point of now, it probably would have been very discouraged. I think about entrepreneurs during school. You hear the story of so many highly successful entrepreneurs who were not great students. And they were told they had ADD or they didn't excel in college and their skills didn't fit the curriculum of the classroom and its structure. And it wasn't until they got out of school that they actually learned how to utilize those skill sets. I think about my own life. I played college football for a semester, dropped out, moved to Los Angeles, thought I was going to be an actor, trained on video camera, stopped doing that, went back to college, got out, started teaching, working with leaders and coaches. I don't know at the time, back in 2000 and 1999 and 2002, I don't know that if you would have asked me if I was on the right path, what I would have told you. But looking back right now, it was the path for me. When you choose your own path, it makes it easier to change your path when you need to, as well as to stay on it when you need to. But when somebody else chooses your path for you, change starts to get complicated. This is true in anything in life. When you own your decisions, your commitment to them is different, and your ability and willingness to shift them and change your mind is also different. But when somebody else tries to own your decisions, when somebody else tries to control you, or you allow yourself to be controlled or dictated by somebody else, it makes the paths you're on a lot more doubtful, and it makes changing paths even more doubtful. Waste no time worrying, wondering about whether you are on the right path. Choose the path you want to be on now, that you believe is headed in the direction that you want to go. You are going to change paths many, many times over the course of your life. Sometimes willingly, sometimes because you are required, and sometimes by force from the external world, changing your path for you, and you have to adapt to a new path that's unfolded in front of you. There is no path you are going to walk through life that will never change. So be prepared to take many paths to success, not just the right path. Don't be committed to one path. Be committed to moving towards a destination that matters, a destination that's worth it. You'll get there when you're good enough. Bring this to reality in your life in this way. Here's how you train for this. Mike Rowe said something that I'll never forget. He said, don't follow your passion. Just always bring it with you. And I'll never forget the feeling I had when I heard him say that, because number one, I already believed in it. And number two is it is so right. We get so committed sometimes to a path, and we believe that our passion is tied to that path, that when our path changes or we need to change our path, we believe that we lose our passion. And that's not how it works. Your passion is part of you. You can bring your passion anywhere you want. Once you understand and recognize that there are many paths to discipline and many paths to success, you don't have to follow your passion or any path. You can choose your path and bring your passion with you. Everything is training for something. Do the work.